Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds. Please turn your cameras on. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Please, everybody try to have your cameras on. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll send the text. What's your name? Maybe if you could then change the name, rename the way that you join the session, please, so I can see your name. Okay, guys. All right. So, first of all, welcome to this TOEFL preparation course. I'm sorry that I sent the link late, but I wasn't able to send any text messages before that. The settings of the WhatsApp chat or the WhatsApp group chat were so that only administrators could send texts, and I wasn't an administrator, so I couldn't really send the link before. But don't worry, maybe we can stay a few more minutes after class. Either way, today we're not actually going to have an actual class. We're just having a brief introductory session so that you guys get to know the details of the course, so that I can tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing during these 6 weeks. And we can comment about the TOEFL test. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, guys? The first thing that I got to say is what I was actually just saying. The Zoom policy that we have. And here at Executive English, we require students to have their cameras on during class. It's really important for us. And this is not because just because we want to, but because we've seen that students who have their cameras on, or when a group has their cameras on, they're more likely to be present, right? They're more likely to stay there in class, to participate more actively in class. And that lead us to have a more dynamic class. And of course, that makes you guys learn more. And that benefits the entire class as well, because everybody participates more. So it's really important for us that you guys have your cameras on, or at least try to have them in most of classes. I won't tell you that you always have to have your camera on, because I know that things can happen, right? I know how things work. Sometimes I even have problems with my connection or my microphone or stuff. So it's okay if there are times when you won't be able to do that, but I'm going to ask you to please let me know. So just send me a message here in the Zoom chat, the way that Noelia did, and I'll be okay with that, no problem. But what I mean is generally, right? Generally, try to have your cameras on for class, and try to also participate and be there. I know how it is taking online classes. I've taken a lot of online courses as well, and it's very easy to get distracted. We're going to try to learn as much as we can. So that was the first thing. And aside from that, as I was telling you before, today we're only having an introductory session. We're only going to introduce you guys to the course. We're not having an actual class, because classes start on Tuesday and they finish Fridays. So we have classes Tuesdays through Fridays at 8 p.m. Bolivia time. So I don't know if everybody here is living in Bolivia right now. Is there anybody who is not from Bolivia?
I am not. I am Guatemala.
Okay. And what time is it there?
6.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit earlier for you, 6 p.m. Anybody else? Okay, guys, great. So for the rest of us, it's going to be 8 p.m. Those of us who live in Bolivia. And as I was telling you, we'll have 4 classes a week, Tuesdays through Fridays. And we're going to divide those classes in both theory and practice sessions. Okay, so during our theory classes, we're going to be covering things like the format of the test, the question types, strategies to answer each question type, the structure of the questions, templates and tips and hacks to answer each question. We're going to be seeing everything that you guys need to know in order to do well in the TOEFL test, everything related to the theory. We'll be doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so starting tomorrow, and we'll have another theory class on Thursday. And the other half are going to be practice sessions that we're going to have on Wednesdays and Fridays, where we're going to be practicing everything that we do or everything that we did the day before. So let's say that tomorrow on Tuesday, we're going to start with the listening. We see one type of question. And then on Wednesday, we'll be practicing, or you guys will be practicing that, so that you have you get to practice a little bit in class, because you need to practice on your own as well. Okay, guys, so both theory and practice sessions. Remember that we have 6 weeks of class starting tomorrow. If we are going to have 4 classes a week and we have 6 weeks of class, that should mean that we have how many classes in total? 24, right? So we'll have a total of 24 classes, and 12 of them will be theory and the other 12 will be practice. Okay, guys? So Tuesdays and Thursdays for theory, Wednesdays and Fridays for practice. We don't have classes on Mondays, normally. Okay? 8 p.m. Bolivia time, 6 p.m. Guatemalan time. Is this okay? Do you guys have any questions so far?
It's clear, thank you.
All right, thank you, Noelia. So I'm going to introduce myself now. I haven't yet. My name is Andrea de la Torre. Well, I am an ESL teacher, an ESL instructor. That means that I teach English as a second language. And I've been certified by TEFL Universal as an ESL tutor, as an ESL teacher. And well, I've got over 3 years of experience teaching now. It's going to be almost 4. Teaching English, right? Before that, I was tutoring, mostly preparing for standardized tests. And what I tried to do the most was focused on preparing students for standardized English exams, such as the TOEFL test, the IELTS, and other exams as well, the SAT, the GRE. So that's what I've been doing mostly. And I've been working here at Executive English almost for 3 years. I started working late 2020, so it's going to be almost 3. And well, obviously, I took the TOEFL test myself. This was the last time that I took the TOEFL test it was on May the 22nd. And this is a screenshot of my scores. So the scores that I got this last time, I got 114 over 120, which is the maximum score you guys can get in the TOEFL test. And I also included a screenshot of my SAP scores if you guys want to see or you're interested in knowing how much I got in each section. And well, this 114 would be equivalent to a C2 proficiency level, technically speaking, right? Because that's not necessarily a good indicator of your level. But this is, I would say, the most relevant information that I can share with you about what's related to the TOEFL exam, the TOEFL test. And well, I think that should be pretty much it. I don't know if you guys have any questions, any comments so far. Is there anything else that you'd like to know about me? I live in Bolivia. I'm from Bolivia as well. So, I don't know. Do you guys have any questions, comments? You guys? So, this is a TOEFL preparation course. So, of course, we need to start by taking a brief look at what the TOEFL IBT is and at some things that you need to know about the TOEFL test before we start classes tomorrow. So, first of all, I would like you guys to tell me what you know about the TOEFL test so far. Anything that you know is valid. Anything you've heard about the test, anything that you know you've read about the test. Maybe some of you guys have already taken the test. If that's the case, then please, it would be awesome if you can share your experience with us as well. You know, just what you thought about the test, how was it? Or maybe what you need the test for. So what can you guys say? Is there anyone who's taken the test before, by any chance? No, none of you guys. So what do you know about the TOEFL test? Maybe, Jimena, what do you know about the test, about the TOEFL test?
Sorry, but can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. What do you know about the TOEFL exam? What can you tell us about the TOEFL test? Do you know anything at all?
No.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. And basically, it's what it says. It's an English exam that people who are not native speakers, who have learned English as a second, as a foreign language take. So usually people who learn English, once they consider they are fluent, they're proficient in the language, they take any English exam, a standardized exam. It's a standardized test, which means that no matter where you take the test or when you take it, you're gonna have the same structure. You're gonna take the same test. I don't mean the same test in terms of the same questions, but it's the same type of test. And it's not the only standardized exam. There are many more. For example, there are three that are the most common, most accepted, and most known, which are the traditional three: the TOEFL test, the IELTS exam, and the Cambridge exam. I would say those are the three biggest international English exams out there. But of course, as time goes by, there are many more that have been released. For example, now you have the Duolingo test. There's a Pearson exam as well, and there are many others. But I would say that the TOEFL, the IELTS, and the Cambridge exam are the most accepted abroad overall. And they are also the most common and most known ones. Now, the TOEFL test, I think, is the only one that's available in most parts of Bolivia. If I'm not mistaken, the Cambridge is also taken in Santa Cruz. But the TOEFL is probably the most common one here around the area. Now, one thing that's important to say is that the IBT is only one of the versions of the test. So there are more versions of this exam. This is a huge exam. And of course, there are many versions of it. The IBT is the internet-based test, which means that you're going to take this test through the internet. You're going to take it on a computer. It's a computerized test. You're not going to take it on paper. There are other versions. So speaking of that, there's also the PBT that you actually take on paper. But that's usually only available in cities or places where they have like zero access to internet, or at least not zero, but where it's very difficult to access the internet. The IBT is the most common version of the test, but it's not the only one. It is also the only academic version of the test. But as I was telling you, there are more. For example, there's the PTT, there's the TOEFL Essentials that's very new, which is less academic, it's more casual. So there are many different versions. It's important for me to say that this course is going to be oriented towards the TOEFL IBT only. We're only going to be seeing the structure and practicing and doing everything related to the TOEFL IBT. So I'm almost 99% sure that you guys will take this test, but it's always good to check just in case. So make sure that the one that you need to prepare for is the TOEFL IBT. Okay, the internet-based test. Any questions so far?
Is it true that the structure of the TOEFL test has changed?
Yes. It's changed on July the 26th, recently, like one month ago. We're going to talk about the new structure. Don't worry. So any other question? Okay, guys. So another thing that's important to say, well, first of all, this test is made and administered by the ETS, which is a company that makes different standardized exams. It's called the Standardized Testing Service. So obviously they make a lot of other standardized exams, such as the GRE, the SAT, but that doesn't really matter. It's not that important. The only thing that I want you guys to know here is that the company that makes the ETS and that also scores your exams is the ETS. That's right, that makes the TOEFL is the ETS. Okay? And I just want you to know that to have some context. So when I say that something is official from the ETS, or that the ETS says something, or that the ETS has published something, then you know that I mean the company that makes the test. Okay, that's the only thing you need to know there. Now, one thing that is important for me to mention, though, is that right now you have two options. And this is something that appeared post-pandemic because of the COVID-19 pandemic, actually. And it's that now you can decide where you want to take this test. If you want, you can take it in the traditional way and go to a test center, which has to be an authorized test center, which are places or institutions that are authorized by the ETS to administer the exam. So it's not like they're gonna make the exam, right? You take the exam there on their computers, but they don't make the exam. And if you don't want to go to a test center, you can also decide and take it at home, because there's this new home edition that allows you to do that, that allows you to take it on your own computer at home. So you have those two options. Okay, guys, an example of a test center is the AISB in Cochabamba. You have the CBA as well, which is known, I guess, around Bolivia, at least Santa Cruz, La Paz. And there are many others. Some universities are also authorized by the ETS to administer the test. By the AISB is one of them. Okay, guys? In regards to that, it's very important that we talk a little bit about the differences between taking the test at home or taking it in a test center, because this is going to be crucial when you guys are registering for the exam and where you're making the decision of where you want to take the exam. So let's compare taking the test at home, the home edition, or taking the test in a test center. Guys? So what would you say, what do you think would be an advantage of taking the test at home? What would you say is a benefit of taking the test at home?
I think when you take at home, you can concentrate better because there is no other people speaking at the same time.
Okay, great. You went right to the point. Jimena, right?
Natalia,
Oh, okay, Natalia. So have you by any chance taken the test before?
at home, no, in a test center.
Okay. And you found it difficult to concentrate?
Yes, it's really difficult for me.
Okay, great. So this time that you're gonna take the test, now you're preparing for taking it at home, I guess.
Yes, I want.
Okay. Okay, guys, so actually that's exactly it. That's usually the most important point. The, the, the biggest benefit of taking the test at home is that you get to concentrate more, for sure. What happens is I also took the test in a test center. And if I tell you about my experience, I took it in the CBA here in Cochabamba. And first of all, there aren't many dates available. When you take the test in a test center, obviously you don't have you can choose from a variety of options, right? It's not like you go to the website and you can choose from taking the test this week or next week, or you have the 6 or the 7 days a week to choose from. You have a specific test dates. For example, if we go to the website right now, we're probably going to find that the next available date to take it in a test center would be maybe in 2 weeks, right? So you have to wait a little bit more. And obviously, more people take the test at the same time. So when I took the test, there were like 6 other people in the same room, and we were all taking the test, I mean, next to each other. We were side to side. So, of course, everybody had their own computers, their own desk, and we were sort of separated. But as Natalia said, when you guys are, let's say you are in the thing is you started the test at different times. It's not like everybody starts this test at the same time. So maybe you are in the listening section and somebody's already in the speaking section. So when you're doing the listening, you can hear somebody speak and you can hear their responses. And that can be really distracting. Or maybe you're in the writing section and somebody's still in the speaking. Or maybe you're in the speaking section, you're answering the second question, and somebody's there answering the same question. So you want to kind of hear the responses and hear what they're saying, so maybe be better prepared. Or maybe they're doing other questions and you can hear what they're saying. So it can be hard to concentrate when you take the test in a test center because you will take it with other people and you will be able to hear them, even though you get headphones. It's not like you're completely you're hearing everything they say, because you do get headphones and you have to have them on throughout the entire duration of the test. But even with the headphones on, you can still hear the other people speaking. So that can be a little bit distracting. Maybe they also have some problems with their computer, something happens, so you can see and hear everything that's going on around you. And especially if you guys are, or if you're somebody that can concentrate really easily or that gets distracted really easily, then it would be, I mean, it can be a little bit difficult to take the test in a test center. And of course, that can affect your score. You know, that will definitely affect your score if you get distracted too much. So that's one thing. Now, if you guys are planning on testing a test center, then what I suggest is that you practice with background noise. So if you guys know that you want to take the test in a test center, then please, when you're practicing for the test, when you're doing simulation exams, make sure that you have some background noise. You're not practicing in a completely empty room, because that's not realistic. That's not how the test will be if you take it in a test center. So make sure that you maybe play some YouTube videos or you play a podcast, or maybe you practice with other students that are also preparing for the test. But make sure that you're prepared for that so that you can get used to that and you can improve your concentration skills. Now, another advantage of taking the test at home is that it's more convenient, obviously, because it's more comfortable. But not only for the fact that it's more comfortable and you can wear whatever you want, you're at your own desk, on your own computer, you're familiarized with your computer. Not only that, but you also have more dates available. As I was telling you before, when you take the test in a test center, you have to wait for a little bit. But if you take the test at home, there are many more dates available. That means that if we go now to the website and we want to register for the home edition, you can choose if you want to take the test 2 days from now or during the weekend, next week. You have a lot of dates. I think 5 or 6 days a week. You can choose when you want to take the test. And another thing is that there's also more times. That means that if you take a test in a test center, there's only one time available. So it's always in the morning. You have to be in the test center by 8 a.m. and finish by noon. Well, now it's going to be shorter, so finish maybe by 11 a.m. But if you take the test at home, you can choose if you want to take it in the morning, afternoon, or maybe late in the morning. So it's more convenient in that sense. There are more dates, more times, and of course, it's more comfortable taking the test at home. Okay, guys? Now, it seems like everything's perfect about taking the test at home. So why then do some people still take the test in a test center? What do you guys think is the biggest advantage of taking the test in a test center and not at home? Well, the thing is, taking the test in a test center is way safer than taking it at home. What do I mean by safer? The thing is that when you guys take the test at home, you have to follow like different instructions, different procedures. You have to make sure that everything is working well, including your computer. You have to test your computer beforehand, your microphone, your camera, your speaker, your connection to the internet, what you're having prepared for taking your notes, your room, everything has to be really well prepared. And it is risky, even if you have everything correct, even then it's risky. Believe me, I've been preparing a lot of students for taking the test. And some students have taken the test at home and they've told me about their experiences. And for example, I remember that I had this student and she took the test like 3 or 4 times. She didn't want to take the test in a test center, but because she got distracted really easily. So she took the test at home like 3 or 4 times. And I think one time she got her scores canceled. Like the entire test was canceled because something happened with her computer. I think that she had a program in her computer for sharing her screen live, like how these gamers share their screens. So she had one of those programs, and I think that they were able to see that she had that program installed. And even though she wasn't doing anything really, she wasn't like sharing the test or anything, but just because she had the program, the entire test got canceled. And obviously she didn't get her money back. So it was something like that happened to her. And then the other time, I think she was in the listening section or something, and they saw that somebody was in the room. I think somebody entered the room. Obviously that was her mistake because nobody can enter your room when you're taking the test. But that also made her, I think that didn't make the entire test be canceled, but she couldn't listen to one part of the listening. It went directly to the next part. And also, if something happens with, let's say, your connection, and you can't hear something from the listening, or you can't read something, or you lose connection, then you have that risk of just losing that part of the test. So it's very risky in that sense. You need to make sure that everything's well prepared. You are well prepared if you guys will take the test at home, because it is risky. I've had some students who have had bad experiences when taking the test at home. Now, if you go to a test center, then it's a lot safer. I mean, nothing can happen. Technically, no matter what happens, it's never going to be your fault. For example, I remember that when I was taking the test in the listening section, my computer got froze for a moment. And I was, I think, listening to the first or the second audio file, and the computer got froze and it went directly to the questions, and I hadn't heard the audio. So for a moment I was freaking out. Then I just talked to the person that's there in charge of controlling, and she was very nice. She asked me to leave the room for a second. She solved the problem, and then I went back and I could hear the audio and everything was fine. So if something like that happens in a test center, then they will solve the problem for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. That is normally the reason why people still prefer sometimes to take the test in a test center, even though it is true that it's very easy to get distracted. So that would be the thing. There's one more thing that I want to mention, which is that some universities, for some reason, if you guys are applying to a university abroad, make sure that you check the requirements, because there are some universities that don't accept the home edition. I don't know why, but they still don't. So make sure that you check. It depends obviously on what you need the test for. If you guys just need a test for your university and they don't have any specific requirements, then you can take whichever test you prefer. But if you're applying to a specific university, make sure that you check the requirements before registering for the test, and you make sure that they're not one of those universities who don't accept the home edition. Okay, guys? So that's it. It's really important for me to tell you that so that you can make a more informed decision. Yes, Noelia?
In Hello, you can get the results in each of these tests.
Okay, good question as well. Both of them have an average of 2 weeks, but it can be a little bit longer if you take the test at home. So I think that when you take the test at home, it's from 2 weeks to 4. But if you take the test in a test center, it's only 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, of course. Any other question? Okay, guys. So, obviously, this part here, the reasons why people take the exam, since this is an exam that sort of proves your English proficiency, it's mostly taken for academic reasons. So people take it usually to apply to certain universities. Sometimes it's a requirement in the university they're already in to graduate. Sometimes it's a requirement to be accepted in the university, especially if it's a university abroad, or if it's a university where a bilingual university, or maybe a university where the language of instruction is going to be English. It helps getting the scholarships abroad as well. And some people just take the exam because they want to have it in their resume. It helps also for English teachers taking the exam and for applying to specific jobs that require English. So academic or work-related reasons. But we're gonna talk about that when we get to know each other. So now I want to hear you guys. I want to hear what you have to say, and I want you to introduce yourselves. So just tell us a little bit about you. You can tell us your name, your city, where you're from, where you're living, but mostly give us some context as to what you're doing right now, what do you do, and why you're taking this course, why you're taking the TOEFL test. What do you need? What do you need the TOEFL test for? Do you need it for a specific university? Do you need it for work? What do you need it for? And also, do you need a specific score in the test? There are some cases in which universities or any program that you're applying to require a specific score. You know, like you need to get 90 or above or 100 or above. So if that's the case, then also let us know. Okay, guys, so just some context as to why you're taking this course, why you want to take the TOEFL test, and whether you need a specific score. So maybe we can start with you, Adrian.
Okay, good evening. My name is Adrian Rodrigo Candia. I live in La Paz, Bolivia. why I am taking the course for TOEFL? Well, I want to apply to universities in USA. I want to study nutrition, so I need the TOEFL test. I don't know yet a specific score in the test, but I think I need a medium high score, almost 80.
Okay. So great, Adrian. So you're saying that I imagine that you finished high school and you're planning on studying a bachelor's degree in the US, right? Is that true? Is that correct?
No, I already finished the high school. I am 20 years old. I am studying a technical career. I study gastronomy. This year is my last year in my career, so I want to go for the next year to USA or to other country.
Okay. Okay, Adrian, great. So medium, yes, usually when you're applying for universities or programs above, yeah, they do ask around that, 80 or above. Okay, Adrian, thank you so much. Maybe Geraldine, what about you?
Hello, my name is Geraldine Michelle Archila. I am Guatemala. Why are you taking course TOEFL? I need graduation of general medical. Do you need a score 50?
Okay, you need 50 at least.
Yes.
Okay, good, very achievable. Thank you, Noelia. I'm sorry, thank you, Geraldine. So sorry. Natalia, maybe what about you?
Hi, my name is Natalia Barta. I'm from Bolivia. I live in Cochabamba. Well, I want to apply to a university abroad. I want to study a master. And until now, I don't know what the specific score I need, but I wish up to 90.
Okay. 90 or above. Okay. You're going to do a master's degree, right? You said?
Yes, I want to apply a university abroad, specifically Canada.
Okay. Okay. Nice, Natalia. Thank you so much. Jimena, what about you?
Hi, my name is Jimena. I'm from Bolivia, La Paz City, and I need a score 100 above because I would like to study a master in architecture in Canada, and maybe later work in my area. That's it.
Okay. And the university you're applying for is asking you for 100 or above?
Sorry?
The university that you're applying for is asking you for that score?
Yes.
Okay. Because 100 is a little bit, I mean, it does require more practice and more preparation. You know, getting usually over 100 gets more difficult, but it's not impossible.
Okay.
Okay, Jimena, thanks. Franklin, what about you?
Hi. Yes, my name is Franklin Santos. I'm from La Paz City. Exactly, I live in El Alto. I taking this TOEFL test when it's my task, I think, because I want to apply to scholarships and the master science degree. But this is my issue. About the specific score, I think above 90.
Okay, about 90. Okay, Brinkley, thanks.
Yes.
So do you have a specific scholarship in mind, or you're seeing it yet?
Excuse me?
A specific scholarship in mind, or you're still looking?
Well, specifically no, but I would like I forget the name is I don't know. This is USA scholarship and oh no, I forget.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. That's fine. Okay, so scholarships for the US. That's okay. Okay, Brinkley.
Yeah.
And finally, Noelia.
Okay, hi, my name is Noelia Barrera. I'm from Cochabamba, Bolivia. I'm taking this course because I am applying to a scholarship. It's a master's degree in economics in Berlin. So the name of this program is the DAT scholarship. So I need, or the university requires 96 minimum in the score in the test. So that's why I'm taking this course.
Okay, Noelia. All right, 96 minimum. Okay, great then. Okay, guys, so I really hope that this course helps you to get there, whatever it is that you want to go, whatever it is, I mean, whatever score you need. I understand that the TOEFL test is usually a big step because it opens different doors for you, right? Depending on what you need it for. And most of you guys, I think all of you need it for something big, right? For applying abroad, to scholarships, to universities, master's degree, or different types of programs. So it's something big. I can see that. And I hope that you can also see that and that you find this course useful. I'm going to do my best, or let's try to have a dynamic class where we participate, where if you have questions, you can always ask, and where we practice as much as we can as well, because we're going to have practice sessions where I'm going to need you guys to participate. But I guess one thing that I want to say is that you need to practice more or outside of the classroom as well. Because what I would say from experience and from preparing different students and preparing myself as well when I was taking the exam, is that preparing for this type of test requires like 20% theory, 20% knowing what to do, knowing how the test works, how to crack the test. But you can know the best strategies. You can know exactly what to do, but it's an entirely different thing to actually put that knowledge into practice and do it, And it requires different types of skills that require practicing. For example, time management skills, or summarizing information, building vocabulary. So it will require, especially for those of you who are aiming for higher scores, let's say 90 or above, it does require a lot of preparation, and it does require preparing outside of the class as well. I'm going to be sharing with you guys useful material and platforms so that you can practice on your own as well. And I really hope that you use them. Okay, guys, welcome again. Thank you for choosing us. And I don't know if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything else that you'd like to say.
Yes, I have a question. The material, will you give us the material? Where can we get the material?
Okay, good question. So I'm usually going to be sending material through a WhatsApp chat. things like the presentations we use or material for vocabulary, stuff like that. But you can also find material for the course overall in the company's website. I'm sending you guys the link right now. So if you go here, you open this link. I'm also gonna send this link through our WhatsApp group chat, but it's there right now if you guys wanna explore the website with me. And if you go to this fourth and the third part, Apoyo Académico Estimulación TOEFL, you guys can find a lot of material there. Things like vocabulary. You're gonna find some videos that are very useful related to connectors and transition words. And you're gonna find some scripts, some documents. I think there's this Anki program for practicing vocabulary. And the good thing is that everything is explained with tutorials and stuff. You don't need. But in any case, if you guys have problems when visiting the website or when downloading the material from the website, you can please talk to the coordinator of the program, which is the administrator of the WhatsApp group. I'm also going to send her number through the WhatsApp chat. So for example, here you have the Anki program, which is basically flashcards for vocabulary. You have 3 videos on connectors. You have different lessons, scripts for the TOEFL test. So you can find some material here, and everything else that we need, I'm going to be sending it through the WhatsApp chat we have.
One more
Thank you.
question. Sorry. What are the changes that we got now in the TOEFL test?
Okay, good question. So we are only going to be seeing the new structure of the TOEFL test, right? We won't even mention the previous structure. But it is true, and this is especially for those of you who've already taken the test in the past. Basically, there are no changes in terms of content. The big change is in the duration of the test. That means that the test used to be, before July the 26th, the test used to be 3 hours long, or 3.5 even. And now it's only 2 hours long. Now, in terms of the structure of the test, let's briefly see the structure of the test. It consists in 4 different sections. They're going to be evaluating 4 different skills, each one in each section, including reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Okay, you have 4 different sections in the test: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Now, everything all together, the 4 sections, the entire test will now last 2 hours, even less than 2 hours. I think it's 1 hour and 45, 1 hour and 50. So it's about 2 hours, and every section has been shortened, has been reduced. So the number of questions have been reduced in every section. For example, if we are going to be very specific, the reading section is now 36 minutes long. Okay? And you only have 2 questions or 2 sets of questions in the reading. The listening section has also been shortened. So now it's about 30 minutes as well, even less. And you also have fewer questions. But you still have 2 types of questions: conversations and lectures, but I don't want to really get into the details here. Now, another change is that there's no break. So you guys won't have time for a break. It's going to be 2 hours straight. That means if you're starting the reading, listening, speaking, and writing, no break. Since it's only 2 hours, there's no need for a break. Then the speaking section is exactly the same as it's always been. So you have core 4 questions, 20 minutes. And the writing section is the one that has changed in terms of content. You still have 2 questions, but now it's shorter. The second question has been changed. So you have 2 questions. The first one is the integrated. The second one is now the writing for an academic discussion. It's not the independent one anymore. And in total, it's 35 minutes. So as you guys can see, it's even less than 2 hours. So in terms of content, to answer your question, the only thing that has actually changed is the second question of the writing section. that has been replaced by another question. But everything else is still the same in terms of content. The thing that has changed is the duration of each section. As you guys can see, every section is a lot shorter now. You won't spend hours in a section. And there's no break now to make it shorter. So those are the 4 sections, and that's a little bit of the timing of each section. In terms of the score, everything's the same. Each section is over 30 points, 30 for the reading, 30 for the listening, 30 for the speaking, and 30 for the writing, which makes a total of 120 as your maximum score. This is the maximum that you can get in the 4 sections. 30 in the reading, 30 in the listening, speaking, and writing, same. Okay, guys? So that's the structure of the test. 4 sections, each one is over 30. Each one is approximately 30 minutes long. And that's what you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sure. Is there any other question?
Are the classes going to be recorded?
Great question. And yes, they will be recorded. We'll actually have a YouTube channel. Today, I don't know if you probably got the message, right? This session is being recorded or is being shared on YouTube. So every single class is going to be recorded, and we'll have a YouTube channel where we're going to be uploading or sharing the classes live so that you guys have access to that. The link for the YouTube channel with the recordings of every class will be on the description of the WhatsApp chat group. Okay? So the link will be there. You can always see the recordings of the classes. So in case you ever miss a class, if you just want to review something, you want to catch up if you miss a class, or even after the course is over, you will always have access to those recordings. Yes. Any other questions so far? Okay, guys. So next thing, this is how we're going to be organizing our 6 weeks. I want you all to please screenshot this. So you need to have this, right? You need to know what we're doing each week so that you're not lost. We are going to start tomorrow with the listening section, okay? And then we'll do speaking, writing, and reading. We will go in that order. Listening, speaking, writing, and reading. We're going to be covering every single question type, the strategies, practicing everything, but we're going to be doing it in this order. It shouldn't be a problem where we start, as long as you know where we are, right? Because every section is completely separated from the others. You don't need to know anything about the reading to do the listening, or anything about the listening to see the speaking. Everything is completely different. Guys, so please make sure that you save this, you don't lose it. Any questions here? And there's one more very important thing that I have to say, and that is that along with the course, you have access to 12 15-minute calls or 15-minute meetings or sessions, Zoom meetings, just like the one we're having right now, but these are individual meetings. So what do I mean by this? In order for you guys to practice the speaking section, you need to receive feedback. You need somebody to tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you need to work on, what grammar points to review. So you need somebody giving you feedback for the speaking section in order to make progress. And obviously, when we're in class, it's more difficult for me to give you individual feedback, right? So what we're gonna do is, aside from our practice sessions and aside from everything that we talked about so far, you have access to 12 15-minute sessions, just like the one we're having right now, but they will be individual. They will be one-on-one. So it's just gonna be one of you guys and me. Each one lasts only 15 minutes, which I know it sounds like nothing, but to be honest, we are always able to do 2 of the integrated questions. So we do 2 practices, or if you're working on the first question, you won't understand what I'm saying right now, but we are able to make a lot of progress during those sessions, basically. And I really recommend that you guys book and take these sessions. You have 12 of them, and the only things that you need to do first is make sure that you finish the 12 sessions by the time that you finish the course. Because after the course is over, you won't be able to continue taking the sessions. And you need to book the sessions on your own, okay? Don't worry right now about how to book the sessions, where to book the sessions. All of that information will be in a PDF that will be sent to your WhatsApp group. So everything step by step is going to be explained in that document. So far, I just need you to know that you guys, every one of you, have access to 12, 15-minute meetings where we're going to be practicing the speaking session. And I highly recommend that you take these sessions so that you make progress in your speaking. Is this okay so far? Do you have any questions about this? Okay, guys, so there's nothing else really for me to say. If you really don't have questions, then this is going to be it for today's class, or today's session, actually. It's not an actual class. On your screens, you probably got a poll, a daily survey. And this is something that we're going to be doing daily. Every single class, after class, you guys are going to be filling out the survey, which is evaluating the class in itself. So I'm going to ask you to please fill it out if you don't mind. I really appreciate it if you can answer those questions for me before you go. And I will be seeing you all tomorrow in class, 9 p.m. Bolivia time. I'll be sending the link 5 minutes before class. Guys.
Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
You.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.